So again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Hussein Mullah. I am Information Management Officer for WASH Cluster, and this is the fourth session for activity info reporting for 2022. And again, thank you for joining. The agenda for today will be an introduction and background about the HRP and the whole process, and then a quick overview and definition about activity info. Then we will gonna explain the forms used by activity info for this year, the APM and RMM. Then we'll go directly to the list of indicators with the changes that is, introduced for this year, the set of activities, the set of sub-activities, which is totally new compared with the previous years. And then we'll go for some reporting examples. We'll check the site of activity info directly live demo, and there is a chance for Q&A along the process and at the end, of course. So as a quick introduction and background about the process, just to confirm you are able to see the screen and hear me very well. As you know, the cluster is activated when there is a crisis, hitting a country, and the humanitarian needs is beyond the capacity of government and beyond the capacity of individual organizations responding to this crisis. So in Iraq, after the ISIS invasion to the country, 2014, there was a humanitarian crisis and displacement, around 4 million people displaced from their original places. And then directly the cluster system is activated, which is include all the humanitarian clusters, WASH, education, child protection, etc. And within the cluster, there is a humanitarian program cycle, which is, repeated every year. The cycle starts with needs assessments and analysis. This is conducted through various assessments and data analysis. The well-known and the main assessment is the MCNA, which is conducted countrywide every year to collect the needs of the people in all the dimensions, WASH, education, child protection, etc. And then out of the assessment the result and the data will be analyzed. The people in need is figured out per each cluster, and for the inter-secretarial one, strategic planning, fund allocation, project started, and then there is a phase for implementation of the projects and monitoring. And the role of the activity info and the data collection here fits inside the monitoring of the ongoing projects, which is responded to the humanitarian needs of the people. And there is a review, evaluation, and the cycle is repeated every year as a part of the cluster system. So we are, for the monitoring, we are using, since the activation of the cluster, a software tool called Activity Info. It is an information management software that is used for the monitoring and evaluation for the inter-agency coordination in the context. It is used since 2015, and it is web-based platform. It is simply by writing down in your browser activityinfo.org, and then you can log in and create account for free and log in. It's a public software, anyone can access it, but you need to contact the related cluster system, the cluster IMO, to provide you access to the certain folder. For example, for the WASH folders, people are contacting us, or at the beginning of the year, we are granting access to the WASH partners according to the registration for this training. So people who are attending our sessions granted access to the folders, and then the others comes by case-by-case request and will provide them access. It is using standardized format for humanitarian actors working the HRP in Iraq and non-HRP as well, and the official systems for reporting against HRP indicators and targets. It is mainly to have the statistics of people reach under each indicator, activities, which is used on a later stage to compare it with the target and with the various analysis. There is a separate database for each cluster and sector, and also we have a cut-off date by by the end of the year. So as the year ends, the related database is closed and data no longer be able to be uploaded at that end of the year. And then there is a fresh new year with a fresh database, new, and the cycle is repeated. So a dedicated database per each year. This year is 2022 Iraq IDP database. It is used to collect information for both planning and monitoring. As we will see in the next slides, there is a part for the planning data, which is collected under the APM, and then monitoring the activities along with the achievements under the HRP 2022. The use of data collected by activity info is used in various aspects. And as you know, there is an information management principles says that collect one and use many. So we are conducting a single data collection phase, and then the data is used in various products. The products is part of them is produced by OCHA, and another specific product is specified by the WASH cluster. So one of the product is the monitoring of the progress achievements in the HRP, and we have the 3 Ws and 4 Ws, which is mapping the partners geographically and showing who doing what, where, to whom through the dashboards. Also, it is providing an evidence for the response gap analysis. Once we put together the response versus the target, then we can figure out the places where there is low response and there is no response. Also, it's used in the coordination purposes to figure out if there is an overlap of the services. 2 or more partners providing the same service to the same people in the same location. So it's basically duplication of efforts. Inside the coordination meetings, the national, subnational, it can be presented and the partner can be splitted in order to benefit the most from all the efforts and avoid any duplication of services, and also can allocate the other partner to the places where there is a gap. Moving forward, who can access the activity info reporting? As you said, the activity info is a public software. It can be accessed by writing down your browser activityinfo.org and then create account for free for those who they didn't have any account yet. But if you have account from previous year, we only need to have access to the this year folders. So usually organizations should nominate 1 to 2 focal points to be trained on the system and monitor the reporting. More focal points could be approved on case by case, but are discouraged to ensure clear reporting. Usually the WASH partners varies. We have big organizations with coverage countrywide, so they are usually in need to more than focal point. And some organizations use single focal point who is collecting the data from all governorates and reports it on behalf of all the places. So we can look at this case by case, and access can be granted to people who need to have the access. Yeah, access managed by the National WASH Cluster, and there is a limitation if the account is not used for 3 consecutive months, the account will be removed from the activity info because the limit of the accounts, we have a limitation to the total number of accounts. So those accounts who is, idle or not used for a long time, 3 months, it will be removed. It also can happens to our projects. Sometimes the project is activated, access is granted, but there is no data to report for 3-4 months. After that, the focal point can contact us to activate the account once it's needed. Moving forward to the different forms and different databases that is linked to each other. Within Activity Info, we have 2 main forms that we are dealing with them, which is the Activity Plan module, the APM, and the Response Monitoring module, the RMM. In addition to that, we have another database, which is the Funding Tracking, Financial Tracking System, which is another financial system used to track the financial status of each project, particularly with IHF projects. The IHF projects is registered under the FTS, and the funds is tracked through the FTS projects. In that system, they are using for each project an FTS flow ID. In order to create the links between the activity info and the FTS, the financial tracking system, we are using the FTS flow ID, and it is taken into the APM, and partner need to provide this flow ID from the FTS system inside the APM so that to create the tracking and the link between these 2 forms. On the other hand, there is a link between the APM and the RRM. Before you start reporting, you need to register your project in the APM, as we will see in the coming slides, and create a plan code. This code will enable you to access the RMM, the Response Monitoring module, and report your monthly achievements. The picture will be much clearer in the upcoming slides. So, it's the same as in the previous year, but just to highlight the process, especially for the new people here in this call. Activity Plan module, just a quick definition of it. It's filled once per plan. It's done one time per the project, and it's completed before the response module is opened. The data in the APM don't count towards the HRP reach. So it's only for mapping and understanding the operational details related to the project. The database for the APM will stay open always. There's no lock, and there's no time to lock it at all. So once there is any update or change in the project details, it can be reflected directly. Like once the project is completed, then we can change the status from ongoing to completed, and it can be updated along the process at any time. So taking a closer look to the APM, as you know, it is 2 databases, the Activity Plan module and the IDP, Iraq IDP. So inside the APM, there is a WASH folder. You can see that once you have the access to the folder, then inside this, there is Activity Plan module, and you will reach to the final destination of the records. Here we are taking a look to how the data is reported in the APM. At first, you need to click on Add Record, and you will see the form, the main form of the Activity Plan module. The plan code will be auto-generated by the system. You will provide a quick name for the activity plan name. The partner name, you'll select your organization name from the list. The two important dates, the start date and end date, will be provided here, and then the response, the humanitarian response plan, whether your project is under HRP 2021, HRP 22, or non-HRP. We'll provide detailed definitions for each one of them because people confused, between these two. It's similar to each other by names, but there is a big difference between each one of them. Then the status, whether it's planned, confirmed, implementing, or ongoing. The funding status, fully funded, partially funded. The donor, the name of the donor or funding agency. And then the gender age marker and the disability inclusion. This is the main form details. After that, there is the subform in which it's contained the full caseload. Yep. In the subform, there is the caseload details by specifying the location, governorate districts, and then the cluster objective and the activity. After that, you will provide the exact planned population per each population group, the IDPs, out of camp, in camp, and the returnees. And the final section is the funding status, the required fund for this activity and the received fund for this activity. So this is, in general, all the informations and fields required to be filled by the APM. Usually, as a startup for the year, we created an Excel sheet template, and this will be shared with you to be filled, and we'll create codes for you out of this. So we take you through the activity info forms first, and then in practical terms, you will only fill in this Excel sheet so that we can create a code for you. So the same field names are here, and there is a help section here to have a definition for each one of the fields here, and then the sheet that you need to be filled is here. You provide the activity plan name, a summary, or just a simple name. It's optional field, can be empty as well. The partner name, you will type in your organization name. If there is sub implementing partners, there is technically it's possible to add a sub implementing partner in the cases where there is a sub implementing partner in your project. Start date, end date, the response plan, status, funding status, donor, and also the FTS code and flow code is need to be provided for the IHF projects. And let me see, we have here, okay. And so on. For UNICEF only, we ask the UNICEF partner to provide the PCA code and also the UNICEF field office to select one of the 4 field offices in the UNICEF, Basra field office, Baghdad, Erbil, and Duhok, so that we can disaggregate the data later on by field office. This part is mandatory for all type of projects and interventions, even the direct implemented projects. Some organizations have projects is directly funded by the organization itself without any external donor. So they can they need to fill this part as well and mention that the donor is direct implementation. Yes, and then for the HRP 2022, you need to provide the full details of the caseloads, governorate, districts, activity, cluster objective, activity, and the exact population, planned population per each one of the population, in camp, out of camp, returnees, and also required and received fund. Yes, this part for HRP 2022 only. The source of this information usually is from the project code or from the agreement that is signed between your organization and the donor. So you don't need to create any information from your side. It is all there, and all you need is to provide it in the sheet. And once we receive the sheet, we'll create a code for your activities, and then you can proceed your monthly reporting, as we can see in the coming slides. It's clear by now. Any questions?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Regarding the FTS, it's a requirement, am I right?
FTS code, there is a question before the FTS. Do you have an FTS code? You answer yes or no. If no, then it's okay. If yes, then
no. Okay. Tamam.
So once you have FTS code, you can say yes and provide the FTS code from the FTS system. And it is usually for the IHF projects, and the IFTS code is shared with them in advance. So, okay, thank you.
Well, another question on APM module. So if, for instance, an organization have a multi-year projects and the project information was already filled in APM module in 2021, is it important that we also fill again in APM for 2022?
Yes, this is also a good question. Actually, the database is separate database. So what is reported in 2021 is still there in 2021 database, and this is a new database in which there is, it's empty, and you need to fill a new form for that. And simply, you have it there because you already fill it in previous year. So you just need to share it with us to create another code, and you can proceed. So yes, everyone, even if you have a code from previous year, you need to fill in new form and proceed with your reporting. Okay. Now, shedding some light on the response plans, humanitarian response plan, HRP 2021, HRP 2022, and the non-HRP. There is, people confused about different terms here, and starting with the HRP 2021, its project include the projects that begin earlier in 2021 and have been carried on to 2022. So it's multi-year projects started in the beginning of 2021 and still ongoing, carried on to 2022. These are very specific situation, and please contact the WASH cluster coordinators if you need more clarification before selecting this response type. The partner reporting under this type is not counted towards the cluster reach for the 2022. So this will not contribute in the total population reached versus the target. It's still one of our response plans, but it will not contribute in the total reach versus the target. The HRP 2022, it is the main response type. Its projects include all projects that are aligned with the HRP 2022 goals, activities, and geographically for the WASH cluster. It includes projects that begin in October 2021 onwards. The majority of the partner reporting should be under this type because this type is the main type that will contribute in the total population reach that will be put together with the target. And the definition of your project is, again, the source of information, and how you specify that your project is based on your project agreement, the official documents signed between you and the donor. The third part is the non-HRP, which is usually the projects from outside the HRP response. It is include projects that are covered under different response plans, such as United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, UNSDF. Additionally, these projects include that target population in areas that not prioritized in the WASH cluster 2022. And such as, look at the map and see our prioritization, priority districts, such as in the center and south, Misan, Najaf, Wasab. The HRP should also be used by partner that fall outside the cluster. And also, the HRP is, the target population is the host community. In the HRP, we are using the three main population groups: the returnees, IDPs out of the camp, and IDPs in the camp. So this is the HRP population beneficiaries. Host community is not part of our population groups. Let's look at the map and look at our target with the geographical prioritization. Okay. This dashboard is still under construction, and once it's finished, we'll share it with you. This shows on the map the districts that we have targets, means that the priority districts. And it's clear it is inside Amba, Salahuddin, Diyala, Kirkuk, Nainawa, Duhok, Suleimaniya, Erbil. So the HRP is there in this colored places, colored districts. Those are with blank, it's not prioritized district for the cluster. And looking at the figures, the total affected population is 6 million countrywide. Our people in need 1.6 million, the acute PIN 694,000, and the target for this year 2022 is 730,000 individual for different WASH services. I think this is a good resource for those who are developing proposal or projects. You can select the governorate that you are keen to know about it. For example, here in Nainawa, and you can see the affected population, the PIN, acute PIN and target for Nainawa. And also for single district as well, you can filter by single district and see the 4 figures per each one of the governorates. Also, you can filter by population group, the IDPs out of the camp, for example, the returnees. You can track the required beneficiary group that is important for you, and also can take information about a certain district or a certain governorate. So as we see in the map, the total affected population, the 6 million, PIN 1.6 million, the acute PIN 694, the target 730, and then the reach that the partner that you will estimate it during the course of the year. Based on the data reported by all the WASH partners, we'll consolidate the figure and see whether we can meet this target or there will be a gap or track the situation in general. Okay, so moving forward, after we completed the APM, then the RRM is here. It is the main form that you will deal with it during the course of the year because it's contained the monthly achievements as reported here. There is the main form and subform. In the main form, you will specify the location, the admin for location, and the beneficiary type. In the subform, we'll specify the month and then the list of activities under each one of them. So inside the database, activity info 2022 Iraq IDP, you will be provided an access to the database, and inside this there is a WASH folder, response, and the final form here. At first, it will be blank because there is new year and all the data is still not uploaded. At this stage, you have your plan code and you will start reporting your monthly activity, specifying the main form first. After you add record, you will select your partner or your partner will show up directly, and then the plan code. After that, there is the location part, which is the 4-level location admin for, governorate, district, sub-district, and then the population type, and the location name, if it is camp, neighborhood, village, etc. This is filled for one time only, and then you will move to the monthly form, which is repeated every month till the end of the year. Inside the monthly form, here we have some changes with compared to the last year. You will select the month. What is appeared at first is only the month and a list of activities. There is no indicator here. So once you select the month and select the activities that you are reporting for it, then the indicator will come based on your selection. So if you select the first activity, then you will see a group of indicators. If you select another activity, you will see only its indicators only. So it is based on your selection. Yes, as we said, the main form is completed once per project, per location, per population group. So if you have multiple location in multiple beneficiaries in single location, you need to repeat this twice. Means that one record per each population group per location. Then the monthly form is submitted every month, and the regular cycle for that is from the 1st to the 5th of each month to report the previous month. But now we are at the beginning of the year. After this session, you will be able to report January, which is now due, and everything is set up, and you will have until the end of the month to report January achievement. After that, from the 1st to the 5th of March, you will report for February. Partners should only submit new beneficiaries. This is, I mean, the new, also new guidance notes. In the previous year, the reporting was, I mean, the overall number repeated every month. But here in this year, the partner should report the new beneficiaries only for the new number of people. This is changed from the previous year. The only indicators that should be submitted every month are the water quality and water quantity indicators. So we'll see some examples in the next slides, but just quickly that if you are reporting in a camp with a population with 1,000, the first month in January, you will report the 1,000 as people reach through water provision. And then for the second month, if the same number is also reached, then you will not repeat the 1,000 in order not to duplicate the numbers of the beneficiaries. We will see how this will goes. So repetitive activities like water provision in camps or informal settlements or hygiene promotion, waste collection, partners should use a placeholder, which is the number 1, to refer to the in subsequent month to show they are continuing to provide that service to the population. We'll see that in some real examples, but the idea is this. We'll have only the unique number of beneficiary at each time. Although you are reaching the full population group every month, but at the first month you will report the full population group, and in the next month you will only report the new beneficiaries, if there is a new beneficiaries. If no new beneficiaries, then you will put only number 1. That means that you are delivering the same service for the same population group from the previous month. Yes, this is not applied between the years. You cannot say that I report that in 2021 and then I'll put 1 from now onward. No, the first submission in the year or in your project will be the full population that you are serving, and then after that you will put the 1 as a reference that you are reaching the full population group. I hope this is clear, and we'll have some examples around this as well. So moving forward, looking at the list of activities, sub-activities, and the indicators. This year, the activities is associated and linked with the population group. So the first population group is the IDPs in the camp, and we have only 3 activities related to them. Operate and sustain wash services in the camp, decommissioning of closed consolidated camps, and cash and market-based activities for the IDPs in the camp. So this is the 3 activities. Yes, this is the 3 activities for the IDPs in the camp. And then we have another 4 activities, which is for the IDPs out of the camp and returnees. Minimum service provision of water and sanitation services for high-level learnable out of the camp and returnees. The second activity is the light rehabilitation of wash infrastructure to sustain out of the camp and returnees. The other activity is promote good hygiene practices for out of the camp and returnees. And the final activity is the cash and market-based activities for the out of the camp only. This does not include the returnees. So based on your selection in the main form, if you select IDPs in the camp, you will only see the 3 activities which is related to the out of the camp, and so on for other population group. This is to, minimize the margin of error, and also to make it easier in order not to, face the full list of activities and indicators. It will be shortlisted based on your selection and based on your need for reporting. So I don't know if Dr. Anjam is joined yet, or we can proceed with the list of indicators. Sorry, I'm not seeing the chat. What is the timeline that this map would be available? I think this related to the target map, this one. This will be finalized. It's still under construction. Will be finalized and shared with you, and will be available along the year, so that you can use it as a resource for the people in need targets for the WASH. And moving forward, if there is no further questions at this stage, we can go forward for the list of indicators. As you can see now, starting with the first activity, and this year we have activity sub-activity, which is not there before, and then the indicators comes under each one of them. So the first activity is operate and sustain WASH services in the camp. It's a main activity for all WASH interventions in the camp. It comes with 5 sub-activities. The first one is operate and sustain water services in the camp. And in the water, there is a group of activities. We have a new indicators for the water quantity, and water quality as well. So the first indicator is the average potable water in liter per person per day, provided through water maintained network. And the unit measurement of this indicator is liter per person per day. The second indicator is the number of individuals accessing potable water through maintained water network. And it is, the number of individual, and the number of individual need to be unique, as we explained earlier. And this applies to all the indicators, except the water quality and water quantities. It is, provided every month as it is. The third indicator is the average potable water in liter per person per day, provided through water network, water tracking. And then the other indicator is the number of individuals accessing potable water through water tracking. The last indicator in this group is the water quality test at chlorinated collection location with FRC in the range 0.2 to 2 milligram per liter and turbidity less than 5 NTU. Then the second group of this, or the second sub-activity, is operate and sustain sanitation services, latrine and dislodging for IDPs in the camp. In this group, it is all about the number of individuals benefited from different sanitation and latrine services. So the first one is septic tank, cesspit impounded, then latrine maintained or cleaned and disaggregated by gender for male and female, and then the disabled people. And the other group is household latrine maintained and cleaned. And then the other group is the showers disaggregated by gender for male, female, disabled users. And the last one is the showers maintained and cleaned. The other sub-activity is operate and sustain solid waste management services for IDPs in the camp, and this is represented by single indicator with the number of individuals served by garbage debris collection removal. The other activity is about the hygiene promotion for IDPs in the camp, the number of individuals reached through hygiene promotion awareness session in the camp. Then the number of females here is benefited from the MHM sessions. And finally, the number of children reached with HP awareness sessions at CFS and schools. Yes. The final sub-activity here in this group is the hygiene kit and WASH NFI distribution in kind for IDPs in the camp. And here we are registering the number of individuals reached with basic consumable hygiene kits. Yes, and then the number of individuals reached with different kits that we are providing: baby kits, water kits, MHM kits, and then we have for other type of NFI kits. So this is in general the list of indicators, breakdown activity, sub-activity, and indicator. And here I'm referring to the indicator definition guides, which is introduced this year and provide a full definition. They also include the formulas that is need to convert the amount of water from cubic meter to liter per person per day, and also articulate and explain all the aspects and details. Also having the indicator code here, and it is for all our indicators and activities, sub-activities. I think Anjam is just joined, and if you are there, over to you to continue with other set of indicators.
Great. Good morning, everyone. I don't know, Hussein, where did you stop?
I finished this first activity, and if you have any general comments about the first activity in the camp, and then we can proceed from here.
Oh, I think, yeah, that's good. Let's move on to the next one. Great. So I believe it was mentioned by Hussein, like for this year, we have activities and sub-activities, and the indicators are for sub-activities. For each sub-activity, we will have different kind of indicators. For example, we are still on the in-camp activities. We have the commissioning of closed, coordinated, consolidated camps. We don't have any sub-activities, but the indicator is to report number of camps that have been fully decommissioned or closed. This is only the number of the camps. The other activity is the cash and market-based activities for IDPs in camp. The sub-activity is the WASH-focused cash for work interventions in IDP camps. We have only one sub-activity under this activity, which is the activities related to cash for work, whether if it's collection of solid wastes, cleaning campaigns, doing rehabilitations by skilled laborers. We have one indicator, which is number of individuals reached through cash for work activities without duplication. We need to also pay attention to the word of without duplication, and I'm sure that we will come up with some examples that will explain a bit more. The other activity, it's for out of camp and returnees, which is minimum service provision of water and sanitation services. We have different sub-activities. The first one is the operate and sustain water services for highly vulnerable out-of-camp IDPs and returnees, followed by a couple of indicators, some indicators, average potable water in liters per person per day provided through water tracking, and also number of individuals accessing potable water through water tracking. And then we have number of, let's say, average potable water in liters per person through maintained water network, and the number of individuals accessing the potable water through maintained water network. The other sub-activity is, sorry, is operate and sustain sanitation services, latrines and dislodging for out-of-camp IDPs and returnees. We have also different set of indicators, which are the number of individuals benefiting from latrines constructed or maintained for male, for female as well. I think we lost Hussein, but we will get him back. We lost the presentation as well. So for this sub-activity, it focuses on latrines and dislodging activities. Sorry. Like the latrines, number of individuals benefiting from latrine maintained or cleaned for male, for female, and for disabled users as well. And also number of individuals benefiting from latrine and shower maintained for female and male and disabled users as well, and also number of individuals benefiting from dislodging or emptying septic tanks or cesspools activities. We will, yes, we lost the shared screen. We will wait a bit for Hussein to come back and to share his screen again before we move ahead. Thanks for your patience.
Hello, Anjam. I can share while we wait for Hussein because I received from him from the previous training, so email a PDF version.
Okay, I believe we have done a little bit changes for the presentations.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so let's wait a bit
Okay.
until he is back. Thank you very much for the offer.
Sorry, my laptop is, restarted suddenly, so I don't know whether we're still connected or not.
Yeah, I was going to share my screen, but you just came back, so it's better.
Okay, sorry for this technical issue.
No problem.
Okay.
So yeah, as I was mentioning, this sub-activity, operate and sustain sanitation services, we have latrines constructed or maintained for male, for female, for disabled users. And then we have household latrines maintained or cleaned for male, for female, for disabled users as well. And then finally, we have number of individuals benefiting from household showers constructed or maintained, cleaned. The final indicator for this sub-activity is the number of individuals benefiting from septic tanks or cesspits emptied or dislodged. The other sub-activity for out-of-command returnee is operate and sustain solid waste management services for out-of-command IDPs. So here we have number of individuals benefited from or served by garbage debris collection removal. The other activity for out-of-command returnee is light rehabilitation of wash infrastructure. We have also 4 sub-activities here. Emergency repair and maintenance of damaged water infrastructure. Here we are talking about only the water infrastructures, and the indicators are number of individuals with access to enough potable water through rehabilitation of existing water system network, and number of individuals with access to enough water through construction of new water supply system. So there is a difference between if there is a rehabilitation of a water system or constructing a new water system. A number of water treatment plants that have been rehabilitated, number of compound units that have been rehabilitated, or number of RO units that have been distributed to the communities, a number of boreholes that have been rehabilitated, and finally, the number of boreholes that have been drilled as a new borehole. The other sub-activity is emergency repair and maintenance of war-damaged sanitation infrastructure. We have 2 indicators: number of individuals benefiting from rehabilitating, maintaining new sanitation facilities. These are all the new latrines or showers, and also number of individuals reached with rehabilitation of sewerage systems and networks. The other sub-activity is light rehabilitation of damaged wash infrastructure in healthcare facilities. Number of healthcare facilities, these are the indicators. Number of healthcare facilities with sufficient quantity of potable water for patients and staff. The number of healthcare facilities with adequate and gender segregated sanitation facilities for patient and staff as well. A number of health facilities with proper medical waste disposal and management. The other sub-activity here is the light rehabilitation of damaged wash infrastructure in schools. We have two indicators, which are number of school children reached with sufficient quantity of potable water in school, and number of school children benefited from adequate and gender segregated sanitation facilities. The other activity for out-of-camp and returnee is promote good hygiene practices. We have hygiene promotion sub-activity and hygiene kit and wash NFI distribution. For hygiene promotion, we have two indicators: number of individuals reached through hygiene promotion awareness sessions. This is a general session, whether if you do it door-to-door, focus group discussions, or you use any modalities of hygiene promotion. And then number of children reached with hygiene promotion awareness sessions at schools. The hygiene kit and wash NFI distribution, we have separated all the types of kits. For example, the first indicator is number of individuals reached with basic consumable hygiene kits, and then the number of individuals reached with baby kits, number of individuals reached with water kits, and number of female individuals reached with menstrual hygiene management kit. And then if you have other type of kits which are not considered as those one, you can report under the indicator, which is the final one, number of individuals reached with other types of wash NFI kits. Any other types can go under these indicators. And finally, we have cash and market-based activities. This activity is only for out-of-camp IDPs, not for returnees. So we have cash and market for in-camp and also for out-of-camp IDPs, but we don't have cash and market for returnees. The two sub-activities for this one is wash-focused cash for work interventions and hygiene kit and wash NFI distribution cash and voucher. For cash for work activities, same as in camp, number of individuals reached through cash for work activities for out-of-camp IDPs. Again, this could be the cash for workers that has been used for cleaning campaigns, for solid waste management, for any rehabilitations or small-scale rehabilitations by skilled laborers, without duplication, of course. And then hygiene kit and wash NFI distribution, cash and voucher. If you do any type of cash and voucher for any type of NFI distribution, you can report it here, number of individuals reached with wash NFI kits and hygiene kits through cash and voucher for out-of-camp IDPs. So that was it for the activity, sub-activity, and indicators. I will open the floor for anyone in case you have any questions. Otherwise, I will hand it over to Hussein to move ahead. Great. Hussein, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kakanjam. And if there is any questions about the indicators, as you know, especially for people, working in the past year and before, the structure of reporting is different in terms of activity, sub-activity, and indicators. So we need to pay attention for that. Also, having the new people reported only, which is new introduced this year. Moving forward for some remarks here, and then we'll go with some examples of data scenarios. The address for the Activity Info portal is activityinfo.org. Then you can log in and will provide you access for the 2022 folder. Obtain APM code through the Annex 3 sheet that will be shared with you as well. Report your completed activity on a monthly basis, and the usual cycle is from the 1st to the 5th of each month. Reach figure should be in line with WASH cluster target geographically and also in terms of value and location without duplication of beneficiary. So let's see the first example here for the in-camp intervention. Partner A is working in Camp X, providing water through water network. In January, the camp population is 1,000 people. In February, 50 people returned to their area of origin, but 100 new people entered the camp. So the camp population is now 1,050 people. In March, there is no movement in and out of the camp. Partner A should report the reach as follow. The first month, they put the 1,000 as it is because it's the first reporting month for them. And then in February, although there is a 50 people return to their original places, but we are here putting the new people served only. And then in March, there is zero movement, and we use this placeholder of 1. The number 1 is referred to that the partner is still ongoing reporting their, delivering the service to the population group as in the previous month. So, on the later stage, when we take the totals, the total here will be 1,101, which is not exaggerate the numbers, and it is within the population of the camp. So the idea and rationale behind this is first have the unique beneficiary only, not repeat the beneficiaries, the total population every month. We only take the new beneficiaries. And in case of the same beneficiary reach every month, then we use the number 1 to refer that. And this will make the partner appears in our products in the 4 Ws, etc. And if you are starting not in January, it depends. If your project is starting on March onward, then you will report the first population in March and then use the same concept onwards. For those projects, multi-year projects, that is reporting in 2021, then they need to start this year with the full population reach and then use the 1 and use the new beneficiaries concept. You cannot start this year fresh with depends on the previous year reporting. As I told you, let's forget about the previous 2021 database. It's closed and all the data is there and it's not linked here. So hope this example is clear, and especially for those who are working in camps and with the repetitive activities. It's applied to all repetitive activities. Moving to the second example. The second example is about a partner B is working in district-wide to rehabilitate a water treatment plant. The plant will be meet the needs of the 20,000 people in the district. There are 10,000 host community, 8,000 returnee, 2,000 IDP out of the camp. The rehabilitation begins in March and it's completed in May. So first of all, when it comes to the reporting, each population group is reported in single submission. And there's no host community here in our reporting. So the 10,000 host community is discarded at all. And we are reporting the out of the camp and returnees, each one in single submission. 2,000 for the out of the camp, 8,000 for the returnees only. Although the project is started in March, but we are not reporting unless the intervention is completed. So once the activity is completed, then it's reported once under the month of May. So this is also another important examples for activities, the light rehabilitation that took place in certain districts. Usually we are taking the numbers of the out of the camp and returnees from the IOM, DTM and CCCM, also in line with the PIN and target estimated at the beginning of the year. So in order, host community is not counted here. so that this can be on a later stage be in line with our target. So from the lesson learned from the previous year, we receive a data that more than the population in the district. Because, for example, a rehabilitation of water facility system is serving the full population in that district, including host community and all the normal, individuals. But here we are dealing with the HRP response and the 3 population groups only considered. So you need to cut down your numbers up to the population groups available there, means that the returnees and the out of the camp. Moving to example 3. Example 3 is for partner F doing hygiene promotion session in X camp with camp population of 10,000 individuals in 2,000 households. The partner is conducting door-to-door hygiene promotion sessions for households. The project started in January, and during the January sessions, all 2,000 households were visited. The 3,000 total individuals were present at the session. In February, all 2,000 were visited again, and this month, 4,000 individuals were present. Only those households who were present at the day of the session should be calculated. And members that attended previous session should not be counted again. So it's an in-camp activity in the January reporting. The 3,000 comes as it is, while in February, 4,000 people, individuals receive this service, but 3,000 of them is reported in January. So we'll keep only the 1,000 in February. It's also a type of repetitive activity in the camps, and the point is to have the new beneficiaries only without any duplications. I'm referring also to the guidance and indicator definitions in which there is full definitions and different data scenarios. And also, let's look at example 7 here in the guidance. Yes, here we have a partner. A partner G is working in X camp on a project activity. The project activities is collection of disposal of waste through cash for work modality for individuals selected from the camp population. 6 unskilled workers are hired for 5 days of the work in a week, and workers are rotated on a weekly basis, meaning every week. 6 new workers are hired with an average of 4 weeks per month, so that 24 unskilled workers are benefited from the benefited per month. Additionally, Partner G is conducting maintenance activities for the water system in the camp through 4 skilled individuals from the community as well. The skilled CFWs are not replaced each week and remain employed throughout the project due to their specific skills. So in January, we have both unskilled, the 24, and the 4 skilled worker, means that we will report 28 as a total for January. Then for February onward, those 4 skilled worker is the same. So we will not report the 4 skilled worker and keep only the 24, because the 24 is always a new beneficiaries because of the rotation. So this is another type of having a unique beneficiary reported, especially for the repetitive activities. Yes, if there is any questions for the indicators, examples, data scenarios. Okay, there is a hand. Hussein.
Yes, thank you, Hussein, for the nice presentation. I just wanted to ask if there is, you showed us an Excel version of APM module, and then do you have also an Excel version of the monthly reporting? Because I think, especially for the data validity and cleaning within the organization, it may be important before uploading to the system. Do you also have an Excel version of the monthly reporting template?
Yes, actually the monthly reporting is inside the activity info, and it is kind of online forms. But to help you in this, we can provide a list of indicators in the Excel format that can help this purpose. But the monthly form itself, it's a web-based form. You can access it directly, and you can export it as well after you report the data. So let's go to activity info now and take another look together. Yes, this is an examples to the test records. Yes. Here is the monthly report, and it is, activity info form. You can export this and work on it offline, but yes, you can export here, and this export provide you with the form. It's, the record in the form in Excel format. Yes, this one for February, and then you can work on this offline internally in the organization, and this contain all the list of indicators here for the purpose of internal organization, data cleaning, working, etc. So you can do it like that. But when it comes to the uploading the February month, let's say, then you will upload it through the form, and you will select the month, year, the month, and then the activity, and proceed. And the activity here is appear based on the population group in the main form. So the population group is IDP in the camp. So only the 3 activities here I can deal with them. But if I select any activities which is not belong to the IDPs in the camp, for example, light rehabilitation, then there is no indicator to report, because this is not for this is for out of camp and returnees. So here is a group of validations that is, ensure the data accuracy and help in the reporting. I hope it's clear now.
It's clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Yes. If there is no further questions, let's move on forward for the data responsibilities. And then we have some other remarks and Q&A. For the data responsibility, throughout all stages of response planning and monitoring cycles, actor will take all necessary measures to protect and safeguard sensitive data, and to minimize the risk of attributing findings to specific individuals or households. Actually, here in the WASH cluster, we are dealing with statistics and overall population reach, and usually there is no sensitive data with respect to the name of beneficiaries and personal identified information. So the relevant actors will uphold data responsibility, the safe, ethical, and effective management of data, as outlined in the IASC operational guidance on data responsibility in humanitarian action. This includes taking measures to prevent the exposure of sensitive non-personal data, ensuring data protection and security in line with principles for data responsibility in humanitarian action. The PII, the personally identified information of beneficiaries and humanitarian partners, is not to be uploaded into activity info. So in activity info, of course, there is places for comments and narrative parts, but just to emphasize that the personal data, the name of the beneficiaries, should not be uploaded in the activity info. The WASH cluster requests not to include PII in activity info reports and track all submissions to identify and remove any sensitive information that may have been inappropriately uploaded. So hope this is clear as part of the data responsibility. Moving to some of the common questions about activity info reporting. The deadline, as we said, from the 1st to the 5th of each month. For now, the first reporting for January will be till the end of this month. Then from the 1st to the 5th of March, you will report February. And so on the circle of reporting. And also we are keep sending reminders through MailChimp to all partners as a reminder to report the monthly achievements. The second question, can we edit previously reported data or add old records? Simply, it's not possible. It is not possible to edit or add any new figures to previous months, as the data is already analyzed and reported and shared publicly. Yes, if you miss any of the reporting, you cannot report this retroactively under that month. So after the 5th of each month, there is a cleaning period for another 5 months. After that, it will be locked and it's not be possible to be edited on a later stage. Means that you need to make sure that the reported data, the uploaded data is 100% accurate. And it's better not to report any data that you are not sure about it. Take your time, ask your people in the field, and once it is 100% accurate, then you can upload it in the system. The third question, can I report host community data? The host community data is not included under HRP and inside the activity info. You should not report any impacted host community members. It can be reported in different reporting channels, like donor reporting, narrative reports that is sent directly to the donors. The activity info here is not replacing any other reporting mechanisms. It is here only to have statistics about the beneficiary reached under each one of the indicators in the format of statistic numbers without any narrative parts, or it's not replacing any other mechanisms of reporting. The final question about the administrative locations. My district location is under wrong governorate or district. The boundaries used under the database may differ slightly from the information on the ground. So we are using here the humanitarian administrative level, shared by OCHA, which is for humanitarian purposes. So please use the sub-district location levels as correct and adjust the district or governorate to match. As you know, the location administrative level is not ideal in Iraq. We have the mayor this administrative level, we have a governorate level. Yeah, so each governmental entity have its own background, and so that we are reporting here the data based on the humanitarian administrative levels. And I think this is, I mean, the common questions that might be asked by both partners. I hope it's clear for you at this stage. If you have any questions, comments, and I am sharing here the contacts of the national coordination teams. Jennifer, Anjam, and myself will be with you along the process to, I mean, clear if there is any ambiguity, questions. We are available on Skype, email, and phone calls. I think it's a kind of refresh for people who are using Activity Info since a long time. And also it can be a good start for the new people joining the WASH cluster. We'll make sure that all of you have access to the 2022 folders. The material will be shared with you. All the materials, the APM template, this presentation, indicator definitions, and the reporting guidance. And also it will be put in the humanitarianresponse.info and will be circulated with you via MailChimp. And also I'm advising you to visit the humanitarianresponse.info from time to time, because it is, I mean, important portal for humanitarian response, materials, contacts, dashboards, analysis, resources always available here, so that you can use it as a resource for you in all these dimensions. So we reach our end of presentation for today. I hope it was beneficial for you, and we still available for any questions, comments for now or on a later stage. So thank you for your participation. Oh, there is some questions here, sorry. Ala, please go ahead.
Thank you, Hussein, for the course. In fact, I have three quick questions. For the APM, now we should request a new APM code from your side for this year, or to use the same last APM. I suppose it's supposed to be different, right?
Yes. Now, when you go and log into the activity info, there's no any APM from the last year, so you need to I mean, ask for a new one. But I mean, for ease of reference, you can just, I mean, take the data from if it is the same project, of course, you can just, I mean, take the information from there, fill in the APM, and we'll create a new code for this year.
Okay. Second question about sharing or to enable other partners, all the cluster partners, to see each other reporting as a read only. Will that function be available to facilitate the coordination among the partners, also to avoid overlap for specific activities in specific areas?
Yes, actually the reported data will be put in a dashboard, and it will be public for everyone to see all the response from all partners. But inside the activity info, there is a limitation for that. I mean, you can see your reported data. There is a possibility to have it as a read only, but it will be not for everyone. It will be for some activity info users to, I mean, view all the reported data. It's based.
Sorry, Hussein. So the dashboard will be updated simultaneously, monthly, let's say, so other partners can see each other information on the dashboard?
Yes, exactly. The dashboard is updated on a monthly basis after the end of the reporting. So as it was in 2021, and I am presenting now 2021 dashboard because it will be the same this year. We'll create another dashboard to show the whole response from all partners, and this will be public. So each partner can see all the reported data, and this also is used for coordination purposes, especially for the coordinators. And I know UNICEF is have also its own partners, so you can also monitor your partners, and you can see the overall response in the governorate or countrywide. So here
Okay.
is, yeah,
Yes.
here is part of the dashboard in which you can zoom in and see who is uh, doing what, where, and which partner, and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Hussein. And maybe another question about what you said about the non-HRP reporting. For example, the United Nations Sustainable Development Framework under that or under another framework. Can we report on our non-HRP intervention in activity info? Is that needed?
Yes. As it was, I mean, in the previous year as well, and this year we have non-HRP as another type of project, especially in the partner working in the center and south of the country. Projects like infrastructure development, and the target population is for the host community mainly, and it is not directly to the humanitarian response. It is, I mean, outside the HRP.
As long as there is indicator to report on.
Yes, yeah, we have, I mean, we go through the full list of our indicators, and um, if you have another activities which is not fit in this, I mean, we can look at it bilaterally.
Okay. Maybe one last question. Sorry, bear with me,
Okay.
dear Hussein. All the time we face an issue during reporting that we don't find a specific location. And in the past, I remember there was an option to report on district level, but such option in the last couple of years, I think, disappeared from activity info. So what option that we have if we face such an issue? We don't find a
Yeah.
location. Yeah.
Yes, actually, the reporting is um, for the admin 4. We cannot stop till the district level. We need to fill in the 4 levels: the governorate, district, sub-district, and the location name. The problems that might happen is a certain village name cannot be found, or a certain neighborhood is not there. So as a quick solution for that, we can report our achievement in the nearest possible village or neighborhood. So this can be, I mean, acceptable in general, because the purpose here is not to be 100% accurate about the location itself. So if the village name is not there, we can report our achievement in the nearest possible village or nearest possible neighborhood that can, I mean, serve the purpose. And also we can take it case by case if it is, I mean, strongly required. We can, because it's a long path to add a new location
Yes.
in the to add a new location in the activity info. It's a very long journey with OCHA, with CCM,
Yeah.
with everybody. So to cut it short, we agreed internally to report it by the nearest possible location, and we'll be fine with all.
Okay. Last time Jennifer called me about this specifically, that I reported 90,000 beneficiary from rehabilitation water system in Ba'aj. When I chose the nearest location, that nearest location maximum existed IDP returnee are several thousand, while the project that we supported, in fact, supported 90,000 people in all the districts. So this is why I'm trying to look to how to address such a reporting issue. So maybe I throw it on your table just to think about it. Maybe you can figure it out in a way or another.
Yes, exactly. Thank you to raise it up. We can dig deeper bilaterally, but
Yeah.
in general, of course, we agree to have the nearest possible location, but not to go outside the district. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
To have the same population group as the same.
Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Ala. There was another question from Rebar. Please, Kak Rebar.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, good. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Miri Bar from TDH.
Okay, welcome, dear.
I have one concern. You mentioned during explaining for the activity info that when you go back to your activity info for the last year, it's empty. But as I just check it now, and the data is still there.
Yes, the data is still there, but it is locked. I mean, no, we no longer use last year data, and we cannot access it.
Okay. You mean you cannot add it? You cannot add. Okay.
Yeah, you cannot add anything in 2021 database, but we have our new database, which is 2022. By now, it's empty for everyone, and we will start upload our activities, achievements inside this database, because each year there is a single database for a year, and we no longer use 2021 database. This is important.
Okay, so I mean that when I go to access, I should see 2022, but I only see
Archive.
2021.
No. The 2021 database is archived.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
It's archived and locked, and you cannot upload data on 2021.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
It's, I mean, finished, خلاص. But we have 2022 database. It is new database, and just check again if you have access to 2022 database.
No.
We'll make sure, yes, after this session, I'll add all the participants to the 2022 database.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We have another hand from Hisham.
Hi. My question about activity plan module. Do we have access to further information directly into the system platform of activity info, or we need to further information like the last previous year using a template of APM and then to generate the code?
Exactly. We'll use the Excel template, which is presented during the presentation, and it's shown now here. And you need to fill in this one. And after that, we'll create a code for you for the reporting. So you will start from this one, fill in this and send it to me. We'll create a code for you, and then you can proceed. So this is the process.
My point. Sorry,
I show you both.
Yeah. My point is sometimes the target area, the specific location, and in the middle of the year sometimes is changed. What I mean, if we have the activity for water treatment plant rehabilitation, and I put, I will target in this location, and for some reason or depending on the context, the location change. So we can't change in the platform directly if we don't have the access.
No, you will send me an update for that.
Okay.
Yes, you will use the same sheet, fill in at the beginning of the year. And then when there is a change to the plan and any parameter can be changed, and then you can reflect the changes in this sheet, and it will be reflected in the system as well. And actually, this question takes us to a different area, actually. At the beginning of the year, you might put your plan, and then during the year, you might be working in another location as well. So you have your plan, for example, in location X, and you work in location X, but due to the context change or parameters from the ground, you might be working in X and Y location. So we have our plan from the APM and the achievement, which is can be changed during the course of the year. Okay.
Thank you, it's clear.
Thank you, great. So I don't know if there is any further questions. Please raise it now, or if you'd like to have it on a later bilateral discussion. So again, that's all from our side. We'll share all the materials with you, and we'll provide you with access to activity info, and we'll stay in touch in terms of any issues with respect to the access, to respect to plan code, and we'll proceed like that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Chris.
everyone.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, Hussein.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Bye. هي لو بعد